Yeah, hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 4. This video is called Celebrating the Victories. I give everybody a few seconds to get logged in. When you get logged in, shoot a comment over in the comment section so I can see who's watching. And what we mean by celebrating the victories, and we'll get more into that as we get started. What I'm talking about is celebrating our children's victories, or their daily victories, big ones, small ones, things like that. Hey, Renee, how you doing? Glad to see you on. Also, too, when you get on the video, drop a comment if you're making plans for your summer camp. I know we're getting ready for our summer camp at Black Dragon Martial Arts, and starting to take registrations and stuff like that now. Let me know if you're starting to make plans for your summer. We're gonna get started in about 30 seconds. And for anybody that joins on later, if you're joining on late, you can always go back and watch this video in its entirety. We post them to the page as soon as we're done. So we're going to go ahead and get started on this video. It's called Celebrate the Victories. And anybody who wants to share this video, I've prepared a worksheet for you guys. It's called Celebrating Our Parenting Victories. In tonight's video, we're going to be talking about celebrating the victories for our children, but that worksheet's actually going to be talking about why you should, and ways that you can celebrate our victories as parents, because we need to celebrate our victories too, no matter how far and few between that they are. But so that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. And we're going to be talking about 3 simple ways to celebrate your child's victories. But I want to tell you guys like a little bit of story first. And in teaching martial arts, I actually I learn so much each and every day, every week, every month. In things that I use, for parenting. There's a lot of similarities between, what we teach these children in martial arts and what we teach our children as parents. And I want to share with you a story about some things that I've learned coaching some of these students in tournaments. So when I first started coaching students in tournaments, and this was a long time ago. I've been doing this for probably since like the late 90s in coaching students at tournaments. I always used to tell students if they lost or if they didn't perform up to their potential, I used to tell them all the time what they did wrong. I would tell them, you didn't fight aggressive enough. You didn't cover your body. You gave up too many points. You didn't do this. You didn't do that. I focused, so much on what they didn't do. Now, it is true that, students need to hear that. We had some students compete at a tournament this past weekend. Some of them did well, some of them not so well. And the ones that didn't perform up to potential, they needed to hear, some things that they didn't do. But what they need to hear even more than what they didn't do well is what they did do well. There's always usually something that can be celebrated in what they did do well, even when somebody does real poorly at something. And what I learned, when I started doing that, and I started doing that at somebody else's suggestion, when I wasn't getting the results that I wanted to out of my students, what I started to see is that when I celebrated the things that they did well, the students actually were eager to hear the adjustments they could make when I told them some things that they didn't do well. And the reason for that is because they knew the praise that they were going to receive for that, because they were used to getting the praise for me celebrating the things that they did well. Like kids don't always put two and two together. Common sense would tell us as adults, like, hey, if you want to receive praise, then, you need to do what I tell you to do, and then you're going to, receive that praise that way. But if you have kids, that normal logic, you can throw that out the window a lot of times. Things that we think is logical and makes plenty of sense to us, it just doesn't with them. So, like what I learned was by telling them what they did good all the time, and, surrounding those corrections in praise, like when we're teaching our martial arts classes, we call it praise, encourage, praise. We praise them first, then we encourage or make the adjustment or correction that needs to be made, and then follow it right back up with more praise. Then they don't mind hearing what they need to correct. They actually look forward to it because they know when they correct it, they're going to receive more of that praise that they crave so much. So I learned that in teaching martial arts and coaching our martial arts students, and I've actually applied that to parenting, and it works really well in parenting my son as well. So I want to get in with you guys, the takeaways from this video, and it's going to be 3 ways that we can celebrate our child's victories. One of those ways is actually pretty simple. It's just to take time. Like it may seem like celebrating is impossible to fit in during the chaos of a week. We're doing so many things, ripping and running so many places. You guys are doing martial arts at our studio, but most of you guys are doing like other sports as well, and so you're pretty busy. I don't mean having a party when our child accomplishes something, but oftentimes what our children want, or what's going to make them happy, is receiving our full attention. So sometimes something real simple, like a hug in a few seconds or a few moments of our undivided attention, and acknowledging what they accomplished, whether it's small or whether it's a big accomplishment, it really goes a long way with our children. You would be surprised how much of what they really want is just our attention. So, instead of, focusing on what our children did not accomplish all week well, we may want to try to, give good attention and focus to what they actually did accomplish, and, spend some time with them as a result of that. Also, another thing that we can do to celebrate our children's victories is to tell other people about it. I'm talking to you guys, and you guys are watching me right now on the perfect platform to tell other people when your child gets a victory, and that's social media, Facebook, Instagram, whatever type of social media that you use. We don't always have the time to call every friend that we know or relative that we know and tell them that Elijah accomplished this today. He made it through, class without clipping down, or, stayed on green all day. But, it takes a few seconds to post that victory on Facebook. And, what ends up happening is that, our friends and family see that, and the next time they see our son or daughter, the next time they see Elijah, they say, "Oh, hey, Elijah, I saw that you earned your green stripe in Taekwondo. We're so proud of you." And that kind of lifts our child's confidence there. And you guys see that shameless plug, like, when your child accomplishes something at Black Dragon, post that on Facebook. Let your friends and family know that, but not just in your martial arts, like, everything, school, home, you see your child, taking the trash out and you've been struggling with that, post that on Facebook and let everybody know. That's what social media is for. It's not for complaining about, politics and things like that. It's for being social. Another way that you can celebrate your child's victories is, let them pick the meal that you're going to have for the night. Sometimes going out and celebrating or having, like a big dinner or party when they make an accomplishment, sometimes it's not in the budget for everybody. And sometimes it's not in your time budget as well, because we're all, pretty busy. But, letting them pick out what kind of meal you're going to prepare for dinner on a day that they accomplished something at school, or they accomplished, something at home that you've been working on them with, that's really an easy thing. And, if you have one of those children that, if you gave them a choice of what to have for dinner, if they would pick like, ice cream and bacon, then something you can do for that is to give them like, 3 choices. Say like, hey, I am so proud of you for being such a good listener in school today. I got a great report from your teacher. So because of that, I know that some of your favorite things are tacos, pizza, and hamburgers. Which one of those would you like for us to prepare for dinner tonight? And they can pick one of those things. And that's a really easy way that you can celebrate. And then you'll see that, they'll be working towards those goals that you'll set for them. And they'll say, Mom, I hit my goal today. I was on green all day. Can I pick what's for dinner? It's a real easy way that you can celebrate. And it's something that's not going to cost you any kind of extra money to acknowledge their accomplishment. So in recapping real quick, we had 3 simple ways to celebrate your child's victories. One of that was to take time, to spend a few moments of extra time with them and give them that undivided attention that they crave. Number 2 was to tell others. And one way I forgot to mention, besides just on social media, for people that you're super close with, like Grandmom or Aunt Susie or something like that, maybe take 5 minutes and FaceTime with them. Get them on the phone and FaceTime and say, hey, I just want to brag and tell you what Elijah did today. He took the trash out all by himself. We've been struggling with that, and, now he's become responsible, and he's doing that without me asking. That's going to go really far with them in showing them how proud you are of them when they see you bragging to other people. And the third and final thing was, let them pick out the meal or maybe the way that you guys celebrate their victory. So that's all we have for tonight, guys. Again, anybody that shares the video, I'm going to send you my worksheet on reasons why and how to celebrate our parenting victories. So I hope you guys enjoy your evening, and I'll see you guys next Wednesday.